What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. This is going to be the first episode in terms of this part of the year for requested albums. And this is going to be an album request from a new subscriber called RJCJ Rock. And I'm going to be reviewing an album from one of the UK's most beloved and popular heavy metal bands of all time, Saxon, entitled Unleash the Beast. Now, Unleash the Beast was the first Saxon album that I actually did listen to all the way through, hence that's why I'm doing this album review here. Now bear in mind, as much as I am a big metal fan at that, Saxon are not one of those bands that are at a very big rotation for me because they've never been one of my favourites, although I really admire and appreciate their massive impact and influence, especially releasing critically acclaimed albums just like Wheels of Steel to Denim and Leather. And this is one of those albums that is in the middle part of their discography. This is their 13th album to be released in the year of 1997. This was released through CBH/Virgin Records. So I'll have to say, with my first time experience of listening to a Saxon album in full, and this being the first, I'm actually very surprised that this was the album that he did request for me to talk about, because with many Saxon fans, Saxon's earlier albums, including the few that I've mentioned just now, have been much more positively reviewed and being very influential. This is an album that some fans will say this is either a very good album or just one of those really average, middle-of-the-road type of albums. So bear in mind that this was the first Saxon that I did listen to all the way through here from start to finish than anything else in their discography. But like I said, I really appreciate Saxon as a band, but not one of those bands that I do love as much as the other obvious ones. Bands like Black Sabbath to Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, etc. The first track on this album is the intro of Gothic Dreams, a slow and haunting beginning with some synthesizer sounds and animal noises to make a creepy setting, and a bit of some acoustic guitars and percussive hits. And then it leads onto the title track of this album, Unleash the Beast. This is a rhythmic introduction with very good licks and drumming. Then the energy was boosting things up, a lot of alternate picking, very good vocal harmonies on the chorus, as the drums as well drive the beat with these rocking guitars that they march together. This is a very effective structure with a catchy beat and adrenaline rush. This makes me weirdly think about, on a bit of Iron Maiden, maybe something from Powerslave, just because of the way it sounds. And it does have terrific lead guitar solos. And I really do like the very heavy outro to change the style of music and a different tone, and I just wish that it could have been going on a little bit longer. The next track on the record, of Terminal Velocity. This is a crunchy riff to begin more of a mid-tempo setting of this music, and the drums are kicking in with a lot of punch. The vocals are really melodic and passionate sounding from the higher vocal register. And this is a type of difference when you compare this to the title track. This is more of a big hard rock type of flavour, but the pacing and the writing was pretty good. It's not as strong as the opening track, but the drums were really bashing all the way through, and the drums have a really good sense of ability to have a hook and direction. Circle of Light. This has an opening guitar line with some multi-tracked licks. The drumming begins some more double bass pedaling action, and again, to build a separate flow and energetic style and movement. There's a lot of vocal interaction with matching harmonies to make a separate tone that works with this style of music. And it does make me wonder, weirdly, on a bit of a Deo Sabbath type of era. This has a memorable chorus while it was working on a lot of groove, and again on the mid-tempo sections. There are some wonderful skilled guitar solos while the music changes, but it delivers really well with this particular structure. The Thin Red Line. This opens things on some more drums and more palm-muting guitars. The backing lead guitar sounds open the sound of the song, and then the band decides to return things back forward into more simple hard rock type of sounds. Some of the chords are very easy to hear, but the way it was written, it marches and matches the sound as the vocals do blend in onto the vocal harmonies. Easy to dive into a meaner attitudes type of vocal and distorting guitar style. Really good bridge section that I do like quite a lot, with the clean guitars taking it all down and then bringing back up the same sound from the transition. Ministry of Fools is a very immediately big boost up energy on a quicker tempo change with a lot of speed, commanding drums and guitar lines. The bass remains so consistent as the rhythm section brings in so much hook and power. This is a chorus that is, again, memorable on a very melodic type of approach, straight to the point type of lyricism and the way it was written, and I do like this track as well. The Preacher, the next track, opens things on an organ sound with more returning into the clean guitars, and as the music progresses into this direction, I guess lyricism goes, this is more onto the fulfillment on religion, and again this has more on the less complex and easygoing bluesy type of chords, very much like an AC/DC type of style. The structure was decent, but it does not have an attachment that I would say and call this as one of my favourite numbers on the album. However, one of my favourite tracks is on the next song, Blood Letter. This is a very, very fast track with a lot of balls and precise adrenaline on musicianship, tons of skills, and I think this is one of the strongest tracks on this entire album just because of the way it sounds and how very tight the sound of the band does sound here. Cut Out the Disease opens on a legato type of guitar line, and these interactions stop starting sections onto the verse sections while the vocals were bringing in a bit of a heavier type of sound with this beat. Drums and the bass follow each other as the mood and the melody soars all the way through. I do think this move of instrumentation was brilliant as it bangs hard. Another one of the favourites on this record. Personally, my least favourite number on this album, besides The Preacher, is on the Ballad of Absent Friends, acoustic balladry type of style. I do like what was going on, and especially onto the guitar sound and the way it moves with some more emotion. But yet alone, I do appreciate this type of message. This is a type of ballads that I would personally think about from other artists. Maybe something that Bon Jovi could really do something like this. But not to diss on this track completely. This has some really good vocal performances and again, very nice guitar lead solo work, as there's a lot of that on this album across the board. That is just fantastic. All hell breaking loose. This is a lot more aggressive onto the double bass pedaling, tons more tightness while the band goes in with a lot of groove and various rhythm sections. I think this is a strong closer to work out so well to end the album. The blend of craft and musicianship. It's a stunning set on guitar works, once again making a menace of itself, and it's at the same time bringing in a lot of slick, punchy and admirable delivery. Biff's vocals were awesome, and as well as Paul and Doug's guitar works. Nib's bass work was so efficient, and Nigel's drumming was just really attacking. Overall, I think that Unleash the Beast from Saxon, to me, is a very, very good, solid album. It's something that I would not really express myself as much as this, because like I said earlier, while I do like Saxon for what they are worth, especially for heavy metal history, I think that Unleash the Beast could be an album that maybe would change my mind about what I would think about Saxon, and maybe would appreciate them even much more further after listening to this album. Let me know what you think of this album in the comments down below. Once again, thank you to RJCJ Rock for me to review this album for him, and I'm going to give this album an 8 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.